5,445 pounds, the Catalina 26TH, back and better than ever here at Haylett RV of Coldwater, Michigan. This is an ideal option for half-ton toy hauler toting around. I like to call this a crossover as compared to a traditional toy hauler. Now, in point of technicality, yes, it has a ram door, it is a toy hauler, but it's not extra wide. It's not super duper tall, which means it's not super duper heavy and expensive. And not heavy and not expensive part. That always seems to be something that every single person likes. Now, one of the major questions with any kind of hauler is what can I fit into it, and we will get to all that. When I get these benches out of the way, we'll look at all sorts of dimensions, but for now, I want to look at a feature that's very often overlooked here, and that is how this folds down into this very large guest bed space here. This could easily be too adult friendly since the RV is 8 foot wide and the bed's basically as wide as the RV. You can do the math and figure out very quickly you're gonna have to play for, you know, the Chicago Bulls to worry about ever, you know, running out of length on this thing. Now, I also understand it's a little bit funky and puffy in the middle. This is a couple's camper at the end of the day, and guest sleeping is a secondary concern here. But that being said, the puffy parts, they're a little squishier because it's made to be on your back. So when you lay down, it actually kind of flattens down pretty nice. This RV also includes this big table right here, and this has the same sealed edge material as you'll see in the kitchen and the bathroom. Catalina is and has been very consistent on that for many years, longer than we've, well heck, I'm probably longer than I've been in this industry. Anyway, the point is, this is great back here. If you bump it, spill a drink, no sweat, wipe it up. Not to mention the fact the entire RV is carpetless and has ventless flooring, as is pretty common in toy haulers nowadays, but it just kind of all fits together to make something that's nice, simple, easy camping. Now the table, you can clearly see, is fully free floating. So if you want to kick that out under the patio, bring it out here on the rear deck, I mean, you can move it around anywhere and everywhere you want. You know, there's nothing that says, here's where you have to use it. The other cool thing here, easy fit for 4 dinettes, but if you want to party 6 people here, you very easily could, especially since I've got a couple chairs back here with me as well. Speaking of which, Catalina does standard what other brands do as an option, and they include a pair of these swivel rocking chairs that you can move around. Now, if you want, you can leave them inside of the RV, like overlooking the campsite window. But I think there's something cool about bringing them back here. I think this would be a really neat area. You got a nice, cool, crisp spring or fall breeze or something like that. Just sit here, have your favorite drink in your hand, maybe scratch your dog's head, something like that. This is a neat little hangout spot. And when you do it like this, it kind of converts us from being like just a toy hauler into something of an alternative rear living camper. It's pretty cool. Now, as you see here, these benches fold up all the way out of the way. And there's a lot of different brands that build something similar to this. One of the things I like about Catalina, though, is it's kind of just like a traditional jackknife sofa. You don't have extra free-floating cushions or anything. When you're ready to get it out of the way, it just folds right up and buckles to the wall. You might also notice they spent a little bit more money on some of the support structures here. You've got 2 support cleats on the seat portion of the sofa, in the seating position, obviously, and then 2 on this upper area here that will support a grown adult if you have adults sleeping on that hide-a-bed that we're, well, not hide-a-bed, but you get the idea, the bonus bed that we talked about. So once again, one of the things everyone's going to want to know is what are the measurements of this thing, and here's a quick look. So, all that being said, you know, you want to know what can this thing hold. Also, you might have noticed there's just D-rings galore. They just put D-rings everywhere. What I like, too, is how they have enough rings in here that they're not fighting for space with one another. Now, there's one other really cool thing I want to point out, because not every brand does this. Actually, I think Catalina might be one of the only brands that builds this layout in this class that has this feature, and that is a drive-on wheel well. And in an 8-wide, not wide body, but standard body camper, that is a really cool feature right there. Oh, don't quote me on this. I think it's a 500-pound rating, but it's enough that if you need to just put one side of your rig on there, you're good, you know? That's why it has that extra metallic shield there. Now you've got an awesome campsite window here, and we're going to come back to entertainment in a second. I want to point out a few other things. So they throw D-rings all over the place. They put a ton of lighting in this thing. Now, your lighting in Catalinas are often very asymmetrical because they put lights where they need them. They don't just go dot, dot, dot. They build the RV, they start placing lights, and they figure out where the lights need to go. Now, let's take a look at the kitchen here because, you got to know what you're putting in your cabinets. And these cabinets, if you know what you're looking at, give you a clue of another differentiating factor in this class and category. And that's that this camper is a little bit taller. It has a 6'9" interior instead of 6'6". That allows them things like taller cabinetry and more clearance from the bottom of the cabinets to the floor on the side of the camper where I'm standing and we're not looking currently. So a little less chance you're going to bash things up. That also means they can throw a shelf in that overhead cabinetry there. Now you can see that new, very cool, modern-looking Furrion sort of wedge-shaped stovetop hood vent cover. What is less obvious at a glance, though, is the fact that that's a 17% larger 7 cubic foot refrigerator freezer. I think that translates into something like 4 more Hungry Man dinners or something like that, but just to give you a point of reference. Now, all of the countertops and tables and like bathroom, everything we saw, they're all a sealed edge press membrane. We talked about that with the table outside. But what I wanted to show you here, I popped one of those sink covers off so you could see that big farm sink below. That is a giant one basin sink with a high-rise sprayer faucet. Now, there's outlets by the rear sofa here, but for dedicated kitchen stuff, they've now included a pop-up power tower with a pair of household outlets as well as a pair of USBs to keep your phones and stuff like that charged up. Now, down below, once again, you kind of see the quality under the skin that goes into a Catalina. Like, I'm walking on a plywood 5/8 tongue and groove deck floor right now, but you can see we have plywood boxed drawers here, and they segment the top drawer for your utensils. Just a nice little touch. Now, between the sink covers and the stove cover, you actually get pretty decent prep space in here. Now, a little bit of pantry-tainment storage center there, nothing major. But what I like here, these include a TV and they can pivot around for easy viewing, although I don't think this floor plan really needs it to. Now, I've been doing this a long time, and I've had a lot of naysayers chime in from time to time on the internet because it's amazing how brave people are when they're behind a screen name, am I right? Friday night Facebook fight, baby. But the point I have is someone's going to say, yeah, but you have those chairs all the way back on that ramp. It's a football field away. To which I answer, only if you want them to be. Because if the weather's not permitting you to hang out on that patio, remember, you got a couple chairs. You want to pull them right up here? You want to face them right toward that screen and have yourself a little private movie night session? Well, you could do that too. Or you could have dinner and a movie with the table and the chairs right here. So, I mean, you could make your own little kind of home theater situation. Sit there, have a bite to eat, be able to set the drinks right in front of you. Have yourselves a good time. Go to bed when you're done. Moving past our camp theater entertainment seating multi-function table chair station. It's a long name. I'll work that out in my own time. We come to our bathroom up here. And this is what's kind of cool about these crossovers. They give you a normal bathroom, a normal bedroom, but the function of a toy hauler, as opposed to... These are more like a camper that you can park a bike in as opposed to a garage that you sleep in. That's how I differentiate the two. Now remember that taller 6'9" ceiling I told you about? And this big radius shower? That means that this is going to be very tall person friendly like myself and give you plenty of elbow room. Again, no floor vents, which is very nice here in the bathroom. Foot flush toilet, and right above that, all sorts of extra linen space. This is awesome. Now you might have just noticed that black light switch in the bottom right corner as I was screening up here. You'll find another one of those up here in the bedroom to activate that overhead light. And this light right here, it's right above the foot of the bed. So if you're tall like me, I could reach up and turn that on and off. But if you're not tall like me, I'm sure you don't want to go climbing around on your bed. Now the lights under that overhead cabinet above the bed, you can reach those no sweat. I also want to point out that you have both household and USB outlets on both sides of those big wide open stands there. Now you've got that beautiful accent front wall. You can see we have a walk around queen. There's TV hookups opposing the bed. It does all the essentials. And really, a camper like this, it's built for people who are going to go outside and spend time hanging around. They're not going to spend time laying in the bedroom. So the bedroom is minimal, but totally effective. Little touch up on their decal package for this part of the season, and I like it. I like those linear lines, and interestingly, they took all the blue accent graphics off the nose. It's just all platinum and silver up front here. I think what they're trying to do is give you a very clear indication, like if you're just walking by the front of these things, and you're at an RV dealer's lot like mine, you want to be able to see the difference between a Trailblazer, a Legacy, and a Summit Catalina, and you can finally do that. Before, you had to really kind of snoop around to see which one you were looking at. All pretty simple here. Now, a Trailblazer is basically a Catalina Legacy, and what that means is it's the upscale trim package. It just has a ramp door on the back. That's really the only thing, and they gave it a different name as a result. So like a Legacy, we have a power tongue jack, power awning, we'll see that open. You know, dual propane tanks with sleeve cover there, an enclosed heated underbelly. You've got all those things, and you also have this, I love what they do with their outside shower. It's the little things that make the big difference to me. Tons of campers have an outside shower. This one has hot and cold, that's nice. But the little cleat where you can mount it, they put it up here. So if you actually do need, you want to, take a quick little rinse off cowboy shower before you go walking inside the RV. Maybe you're super muddy or something like that, you can. Although, you know, you could always just use it over here to clean fish and all the normal things, and all of our hookups are in one nice, handy little spot. Now, behind these tires is a cool little thing. Toy hauler outside storage is very, very limited. So what's nice is they give you a handy little sewer hose caddy so that your black tank stuff isn't intermingling with your freshwater stuff. Now, one of the major options that we have applied to this is the patio ramp system right here, where you saw those chairs sticking out earlier. That is not a standard piece of equipment. I know that there's going to be one or two people that want one without it, and you'll save a chunk of money. It is not the least expensive option you can apply to an RV, but the thing is, it's definitely, I think, the way to go. It gives you that multi-function, multi-purpose nature, and even if you're not super interested in it right now, this is something that, it's gotten to the point that without a ramp patio, ladies and gentlemen, it's very difficult to sell a lot of toy haulers. So even for resale purposes, even if you don't want it, I think it's a good idea to have there. And it's not the kind of thing you can easily add aftermarket. The cost of trying to do a ramp patio after the fact, how can I say it? Well, the juice ain't worth the squeeze. And as Porky Pig would say, what's shaking, bacon? Wait, no, that was my Uncle Gary. Porky said that's not all, folks, because we ain't done. We get back here around the corner, like all Catalinas, we got the handy little leash latch, or as their name for it is leash link. It's funny, everybody and their brother suddenly realized, you know, man, we don't got to spend a ton of money on something that's actually really, really handy. Now, this is rated for 1,500 pounds of pole testing, so unless you got like a one of those giant Malamutes, it should probably be fine. I'm pretty sure the D-ring itself is rated for that. I'm pretty sure the screws would pop before that, but you know, you got to be careful what you're looking at there sometimes. Anyway, power awning. We've got lighting below the awning, which I'm an idiot and forgot to turn on. And there's also matching little accent lights for the speakers, but that's not all the lighting. We'll talk about more patio lighting in a second here, but first, Catalina has transitioned into anti-slam entry doors, which is a very welcome thing, I think. And you see that XL handle next to this big campsite window, so you get to see what's going on at your campsite, especially a model like this where that window is dead under this awning. This is exactly where you want that window going on. Now down below, TV hookups, the upgraded stable step system that you see right there, so that, you know, now you might notice most, like, this Trailblazer is basically a Catalina Legacy series, but with a ramp door in the back. That's effectively all it is. And you look at this, and you're thinking, why is it only a two-step? Well, this RV, remember, it weighs less than 6,000 pounds dry weight. It doesn't have a slide. It still has a heavy chassis. It still has good axles, but because it doesn't have a slide, it sits lower to the ground. That having a slide out, a rack and pinion slide, changes the framework of an RV's chassis. So without that, it hugs lower to the ground, lower center of gravity, only needs a two-step. Easy come, easy go. Now also take note of that aluminum fender trim right there. And then think about the fact that it will never fail. It will not get brittle from the sun. It will not fade. It won't get cracked from wind buffeting. It is awesome. Now, I said we talk more about lighting. Over here on this awning arm, kind of like a Montana luxury fifth wheel, you've got a little Dometic power channel, and it includes a really serious LED sort of flood spot hybrid light that you can control the angle of. So if you want to keep the party going at night, but the neighbor over here don't want any lights in their window, you can point the lights toward your camper and not toward them. Now, big entry door, or pardon me, baggage door right here, and something that this brand is very good about is just giving us every ounce of space they possibly can. Now, the hutch is over there due to some of the mechanical aspects on the other side of the RV, but they gave you everything they could. And up front here, we've got that little toy lock. So whether it's, you know, a motorcycle, four-wheeler, dirt bike, or frankly, your picnic table and chairs, if you just don't want them blowing away in the wind, there's a lot of different uses you can have for those things. And that's what's cool about these things. That's why I call this a crossover rather than just a toy hauler, because it crosses into all kinds of territory and blazes trails. See what I did there? Is a trailblazer? Not that funny. Anyway, I might cut that out. I probably won't. Anyway, so take care, stay safe, have fun. Happy camping, everyone, and remember that we don't do hidden dealer fees, but we do everything else. So whether it's hitching, pieces, parts, trades, finance, truck and trailer package deals, RV delivery, and everything in between, we do it all. Thanks, guys. We'll see you soon.